I just finished watching the newest MCU film, Thunderbolts, and is it safe to say the MCU is back? Well, you know what? It's never safe to say that anymore. So let's just say the MCU is back, asterisk at the end, for the Thunderbolts theme. Going into this movie, I was super duper excited to see it. I thought the marketing for this movie was great. I think there's honestly a bit too much marketing. There's like 5 trailers. Everything other, the way they just marketed, the way the trailers were even edited like an independent A24 film, I really liked that. It just felt so different. It felt very like real, like a movie, not a Marvel movie, and I was just super excited to see this movie, and I really liked the cast going into this movie. I would say this movie for the most part delivered on my expectations. It was fun, fresh, exciting. It touched on things the MCU has never touched on before. It does stuff differently. Florence Pugh as Yelena and Lewis Pullman as Sentry or Bob absolutely are the stars of this movie. They give some of the best performances we've seen in the MCU up to date, especially in recent years. They both just put everything they had into these performances, unlike some actors in this movie who I think were just there for the paycheck. But yeah, especially Lewis Pullman, I think he, like I said earlier, he put everything into the performance. Emotion, like he used like body language really good, and he needed to for this character that needed all that effort put into it. I really felt for this character, he was a great villain, a great overall character, and one of my favorites going into the next Avengers movie now. And of course, Florence Pugh, she just absolutely loves this. You can tell that she is so excited to be a part of the Thunderbolts, of the MCU, and you can tell she's having fun with her performance, especially in this movie. I liked her in Black Widow. She was the best part of that movie, but that movie didn't give her too much to work with, honestly. This movie gives her a lot to work with, and she delivers on all parts. It pretty much is a Yelena movie. I'm a huge fan of Wyatt Russell as the US agent, or John Walker. I loved him in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. I thought he was the best part of that show, and I love him in this movie. He's just so funny. He's such a dick, and he just delivers on his performance excellently. I'm super excited to see more of him. I wish he had a little bit more to do in this movie. He did in like towards the beginning, middle, and then kind of towards the end. Not much at all. That's for most of the characters too, like Ghost, who I liked a lot more in this movie, but she's still not in it that much, and she doesn't have that much to do. Red Guardian, I think he was really funny. I was worried going into this movie, like most recent MCU movies, that the comedy would take over the serious moments, and sometimes it did, but the comedy was also just really funny. It didn't just happen during serious moments all the time. It did sometimes, but I could ignore it because I think the comedy worked when it worked, and it wasn't too much, you know, on the serious moments. But unfortunately, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, I honestly don't really think he needed to be in this movie. He didn't bring anything to this movie, really. I mean, it makes sense. I think like his character arc has already pretty much come full circle, I think, with the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, and there's really no arc for his character in this movie. I just hate that he is a congressman. That's not this movie's fault. That was another movie or a show that made him that. I think that was just really dumb, and I'm glad this movie just gets rid of that. But Sebastian Stan, he doesn't really do much in this movie. I wish they made him more the leader. Obviously, I like Florence Pugh as a star. I think they did really well with that, her being, you know, the main character. But I think Sebastian Stan and Bucky, they should have made him more of the leader of the group and have that more leader role. I think they will moving forward, but really in this movie, he just didn't do much for me, and I think he was only in this movie because people like, the MCU thought people wouldn't go see this if Bucky wasn't in it. Really didn't add much to this movie, unfortunately, but I still did have fun with him. I'm glad he was there, because I just like his character and I like Sebastian Stan. I think the best parts of this movie was the banter between these characters. It was so funny and just felt very real. The chemistry on the set with everyone is very present, and it shows on the big screen. I think the action was also really well done. Like the CGI wasn't ever really bad or really even noticeable. I think the action sequences were edited very well, especially probably my favorite action sequence was that car chase. I really liked that. That was like a mix of like, you know, MCU fun, but also like, wow, this was really well made. Obviously, there's a huge talk about how this movie deals with mental health and depression. I'm glad that Marvel decided to go all in with that and to make that a big theme of the movie. It didn't hit me as hard as I think for many, or as hard as the movie wanted it to hit. but I appreciate it being there. I know it does hit for a lot of people I talk to. As for that final sequence, I understand why it ended the way it did. I think, it was a little bit cheesy for me, a bit on the nose, but I appreciate how like the final battle wasn't an, basic big CGI final fight. They did something different, and that's what I appreciate most about this movie, is that they did something different. They took a big swing. Most of the times it hit, sometimes it didn't, but overall this movie worked for me. I think the movie ends a little abruptly. If you've seen the movie, you know why. It's just like, I wanted a little bit more, and it kind of just ends. I like the idea and what happens at that end. I really like that. I think it just kind of happened really quickly, which is I think what they wanted it to happen. I don't know, it's just like a little like, oh, I wanted a little bit more with these guys, and hopefully we are getting more, and it seems like we are getting more in Avengers. Overall, this felt like the old MCU days, but it also felt like something new. You see, Marvel, what happens when you don't just dump the multiverse and cameos on us. You get a pretty damn good movie. I had a fun time, and that's what's most important with this movie. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Just a few critiques here and there, but a good step forward. Let's hopefully Marvel can keep taking steps forward, but I'm a little bit nervous about Fantastic Four, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought about Thunderbolts in the comments down below. Did you love it? Did you not? Let me know all of that, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.